You mentioned the card there. Have you ever used the card?
I used it one time. I won't lie. And I used it in a nightclub. They were kicking us out, and I needed to go to the loo. And I knew if I went outside, I could be waiting for a taxi. I knew other hotels and everything won't let you into the premises unless you're staying there. Even though by law, I think they are obliged to let you in to use the bathroom facility if they have it. I did use it, and the bouncer wouldn't have a look. He wouldn't look at it, and I was like, read it. And then when he did read it, I have to say they were very good, and he apologised to me. He escorted me to the bathroom, let me use the toilet, and then I was happy and on my way out to my taxi for my ride home. But it's very embarrassing still using it. Like, I would only use it if I really, really had to. And at that, again, I would still be quite embarrassed, even though I shouldn't be. But, you know, imagine being in a line in a toilet and having to produce your card and say, excuse me, ladies, I am going to skip the queue. I have Crohn's disease.
Yeah, and just to let our listeners know, this card, what is the name of it again, Victoria? I just forget now.
God.
There's a name on it, and I just...
I could run and get it for you. It's in my wallet, but it's basically a Crohn's and ulcerative colitis.
Yeah, and it says, quick, let me in quick or something like that. I forget.
Please let me use the bathroom.
Yeah.
I've got Crohn's disease. You can get it from the ISCC.
Yeah, who are very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. The thing is, I know that our experience of it was trying to use it in Dublin one time, and I think we were nearly thrown out of the shop. You know, I think they thought we just printed this little card ourselves to try and break the queue. You know, it was quite embarrassing actually. Now, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what we have. That's what we're up against, which is so unfortunate, and that's why, you know, this interview it's great because people are starting to become aware. I mean, all my friends had never heard of Crohn's disease before I got diagnosed, because it's not talked about, because it's nearly like a taboo subject, speaking about your bowel motions and, you know, talking about, you know, your colon and your intestines. It's not spoken about, and that's, you know, maybe the people that you came across, they were ignorant to it, and, you know,
they didn't know. Yeah, you're dead right. They just didn't know about it.
Yeah, because there's not an awareness out there. So unfortunately, you know, they made the wrong decision, and, you know, your poor wife, obviously, you wouldn't have felt too good about herself after that, but I mean, she has to, you know, have used the card because she needs to go to the and that's what people have to understand. We're not joking. You know, we're not kind of, oh, let's skip the queue because it'd be funny. If we don't get to go to the toilet, we'll go, and, you know, we'll be more embarrassed than again.
Yeah. Now, you, of course, it's an awful lot of people with it may have only it could restrict them for working part-time. Or I
was saying to you earlier, I had a little bit of a flare-up in January. I definitely wouldn't have been able for a 9-to-5 job, and, you know, that's the scary thing. You know, I'm 25, I want to be out there, you know, earning a living, trying to save for a house, and I couldn't. Now, I was in a very fortunate situation where I was able to set up my own business doing holistic treatments, so I could have one client a day, like getting a reflexology treatment. So I was doing what I loved. I wasn't putting my body under too much stress. I was helping other people, and it worked out perfect for me. Now I've set up a client base, I'm feeling better, and now I can have a few clients a day. But I'll be honest with you, I mean, I'll have my days, so I still wouldn't be able for a 9-to-5. And that's why I'm not putting myself under too much stress at the moment, and I'm loving doing what I'm doing and building up my clientele, building up my business. I'm also just doing makeup, artistry, freelance. So I'll have a wedding one Saturday morning, and that would be me done for the day. So I'm very fortunate in that situation.
And you mentioned the word Victoria stress there, and they used to say, I'm not quite sure where things have moved on, you know, but they used to, that can cause a bit of a flare-up.
Absolutely. My professor was saying the other day, you know, it can come in times of immense stress. You can get a flare-up, or you can get the onset of Crohn's, or ulcerative colitis. When I was 17, I was heading in to do my leaving cert. So obviously a time of great stress in my life, when you kind of think that's all there is to it when you're in sixth year, is your leaving cert. So that was a stress point for me. Also, people get diagnosed or have flare-up when they're getting married, if they're moving house, if there's a lot of pressure in their job, or if they've had a breakup in a relationship. These are trigger points because obviously the body goes under, kind of a fire point that, you're under the stress and something's going on in your life, and some people do find it, a problem in their lives, and they do get flares up. So
Now, I think you're brilliant to come on and talk so openly about it this morning, Victoria, and I do really appreciate that. If anyone is listening to us this morning, and can they get a copy of the manifesto, or how can they get in contact with? Is it the Society for Colitis and Crohn's Disease that would get in contact with, or what?
Yeah, they can go on the ISCC website. Also, that's where they can get the manifesto.
Okay.
Also, I think Irish Health have something up on their website. Also, they are more than welcome. We'd love to start building up all the people on the Facebook. So that's Crohn's and Ulcerative Colitis Ireland on Facebook, and you'll see myself there and loads of other of my peers that I met in my manifesto. And we're trying to really kind of break through and to tell the government we want the long-term illness scheme, and we're trying to set up our own youth kind of society and to move forward. So onto the Facebook, onto ISCC. And I think that's where they'll get all the information.
And Victoria, just finally, is it a disease that qualifies for a medical card?
No, and that's what's so frustrating.
Because it's a quite expensive treatment.
I'm sure you would have been aware of all the expenses that your wife had to go through. My drug, okay, it's thousands a month. Now, obviously, I don't have to pay that. We have the drug scheme, which is great, and we're very grateful for. That's €100 a month. But let's not forget the GP visits, the consultant visits, the blood tests, the food. I mean, there's so much. And for someone like myself who's only earning, you'd be only earning like minimum wage, it takes a lot out of your income each year. So no, unfortunately, we're not actually on the medical card yet, and that's something we really want to start, getting people to hear our voice on this. Because at the moment, no, we're just on the drug scheme, which is the €100 a month to get your drugs in the pharmacy, which really helps, and we'd be lost without it. But we do need to be recognised as a long-term illness. There's no cure for Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. They don't know why we have it. There's other diseases out there and other conditions which are the same as us, that you have to take medication every day, and they are recognised as a long-term illness. But Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, unfortunately, at the moment isn't. But hopefully we'll be changing that.
I think they're going to have a fight in their hand with a young lady like you. I think you're brilliant. And as I said, to come on and talk like that this morning, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you, Victoria. And maybe some other time we'll talk to you again and find out how you're getting on. But for the moment, can I thank you very, very much indeed for talking to me this morning.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
God bless. That was Victoria Power, and she is a young lady. She's 25, and she was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when she was 17, and is in her whole attitude to life absolutely brilliant, because, as she said, she will have it for the rest of her life, and the very, very best of luck to her. She's a lovely girl.